Russia, the great unknown, is a land full of mysterious prehistoric sites, some of them difficult to explain. There are territories riddled with enigmatic monuments made of stone that cause the astonishment of researchers. These are the most amazing and enigmatic prehistoric constructions in Russia. There are numerous writings from the 18th century mentioning the curious dolmens located on both sides of the Caucasus mountain range, between Abkhazia and the Taman Peninsula. However, it was not until the end of the 19th century that excavations for their study began. The dolmens, megalithic tombs or sanctuaries found in the Caucasus Mountains were so numerous that scientists began to speak of the Caucasus dolmen culture. It is estimated that there are no less than 3,000 dolmens, although only 6% have been excavated. Stone slabs of colossal size and weight have been used, and they are placed vertically, covered by a similar fifth stone. How they moved such colossal stones is a real mystery, as they have been dated to between 2900 and 1300 BC. Some of the dolmens have a stone slab as a floor, although almost all of them have an oval opening of about 40 centimeters in diameter that is often found in the sidewalls and floor slabs. Also, large stones have been placed around the exterior walls. Among the archaeological artifacts found in the dolmens are axes, spearheads, various headdresses, and pottery. This culture that developed at the beginning of the Bronze Age suddenly disappeared. A proof of this is the finding of unfinished dolmens. Scientists do not find an explanation. The only evident thing is that there was an abrupt change that put an end to this civilization. Much has been written about the labyrinths looking for their meaning, but nobody really knows who made them, nor what they were used for. They are a real mystery. There are stone labyrinths all over the world, but the largest number of them can be found on the Solovetsky Islands in the Arkhangelsk region, about 35, of which 14 of them are on Bolshoy Zayatsky Island. In addition to these labyrinths, hundreds of burial mounds, rock piles, and dolmens were found in the area. According to research, the labyrinths have been dated to between the 1st and 2nd millennium BC. In other Russian regions, such as on the islands of the Kosovo archipelago in Karelia, near the city of Kandalaksha in the Murmansk region, and in some parts of Siberia, we also find this type of constructions. And outside this country in Sweden, Finland, or Norway. The curious thing is that all these constructions are on islands near the sea or at the mouth of rivers, that is, near the water. There are different types of labyrinths: 1 helix, 2, concentric, or cross-shaped. They also vary in size, ranging from 5 to 30 meters in diameter. Another characteristic is that the stones that make up the labyrinth are not joined by any type of mortar. They have a natural shape. It is in the 15th century when we begin to talk about these constructions. One of the oldest known records, dated 1552, calls them Babel ones, and is found in Sweden. Alexander Yeliseyev, a physician and member of the Russian Geographical Society, wrote in 1883 that Babylons or labyrinths could symbolize both the infinity of the world and the serpent, that is, the evil principle. The priest and philosopher Pavel Florensky suggested that the labyrinths were tombstones that prevented the soul from returning to the world of the living. The only certainty is that the labyrinth is one of the oldest symbols known to all cultures of the world, sometimes related to rites, such as initiation. The so-called trials of the labyrinth appear in ancient Greek epics, such as the story of the labyrinth of the Minotaur, and this symbol has reached our days, as we can well appreciate in the cathedrals of Chartres and Amiens in France, since in the medieval Christian tradition it symbolizes the cleansing of sins. To this day, Scientists still do not know what these labyrinths were used for, so they remain a mystery. There are many unexplained ancient buildings all over the world, but the discovery made in Russia a few years ago shocked the scientific community to the point that no one dared to say that this structure is not natural. If the blocks had been smaller, no one would have doubted that it is an artificial construction. But if it were recognized that these gigantic walls and passages are elaborate, it would break all the schemes of our history. A construction that many consider impossible and apparently should not exist. Something that bothers those who wrote history at will. It is located in the south of Siberia in Russia, specifically in Gornaya Shoria. In this place there are huge blocks of stone with flat surfaces, right angles, sharp corners, and stacked in order, from which it follows that its origin is not natural. Nature does not form walls and passages. Their exact weight has not yet been calculated, but it is estimated that these stones could weigh more than 3,000 or 4,000 tons. That is, they would be of a size never seen before, no less than 3 times larger than the blocks of Baalbek. The needles were pointing in the complete opposite direction to them, which suggests the existence of a negative magnetic field. Moreover, there is no quarry nearby, so how could they have been transported? Archaeologist John Jensen, who was the one who discovered this site in 2014, said that our remote past is more prosperous than we can imagine. How could a discovery of such caliber not have been published by all the media? Perhaps because this discovery would dismantle all archaeological theories about past civilizations that supposedly lack technology. Are we facing the most important proof that we have been lied to? What technology did they use to fit the blocks together so perfectly? Prehistoric constructions hide many mysteries, which science does not want to investigate. Many uncomfortable archaeological objects have disappeared, but the gigantic stones of the dolmens and the walls of Gornaya Shoria cannot be hidden. It seems that, every time, it is more and more difficult for them to deceive and to hide what is more than evident.